Hello and welcome to the Schola Progenium. Today we've got an interesting battle report for you. We've got two elite armies for 9th edition. There's another battle report on the Mordian Glory channel being released simultaneously with two much larger forces. The Drakari Witch Cult, fully painted at 2,000 points, well 1750 obviously, 2000 9th edition guesstimation, versus Tim's Pure Foot Guard 50th Mordian rifles, are they, Tim?
It's 50 Mordian rifles, yeah. It's not all infantry. There's loads of like Bulgarins and there's some veterans in there and there's some Ogrins. So it's things with legs list.
Yeah, it's a pure legs list.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, you got to check that out. The link will be below. If you've come over from that, then welcome to the second glorious battle report of 9th edition for what we are ad hoc calling the Brohammer team. So I'll take you through the Blood Angels list. First of all, get cracked straight on because we had a long day's gaming yesterday. But I've gone for what I'm going to deem the all-stars list. This isn't necessarily the most tailored, distilled competitive list that you'll find on the internet, but it's got certainly a lot of teeth. Especially chainsaw teeth, and it's got just basically every unit that is close to my heart in the Blood Angels. Yeah, it's got everything. It's the All-Stars.
I know you were a fan of Intercessors when you were a child, John. And these are one of your childhood
Well, they don't
lists.
let. Well, I praise be to the Emperor and Sanguinius, because I have said for so long I would do anything. I rue the day. I still remember walking out. I'm mixing my words here, but I still remember walking out with my 6th edition codex and seeing that I couldn't take Assault Marines as troops, and I've been angry about that for about 6 years. But finally, with Indomitus, I'll be able to take a full chainsword list. So don't you worry, Timothy. I will be bringing a very assaulty pure chainsword list with no intercessors whatsoever. Shout out, by the way, just whilst I'm saying it, to Ahmed and Power on Gaming, because he sorted me out with an Indomitus box.
Beat the Scalpers, you got a box.
I beat the Scalpers and I got a box, and sorted me out. It was 10:45 in the morning, so like they were gone everywhere. At 6 minutes past 10, I had a Indomitus in my.
And someone got it. Yeah.
Someone nicked it. I had it in.
Card details.
Yeah, exactly. From my card, I was under the impression because that when it was in my basket, I was safe.
Someone just like basically in the supermarket come up to you like, I'll have that. You're not having those.
Just bugging.
And then run to the checkout.
Took my Pepsi Max out of my shopping trolley, man. But anyway, so shout out, if Power on in Rochdale. Absolutely. I said, dude, I'm going to give you a shout out for this.
Ahmed the Don.
Ahmed, the absolute Don, sorted me out. And apparently he's got a gaming board in there. He's a computer shop with a gaming board and 40k. Yeah. He's got an Instagram account. Check him out. Give him a shout from me. Thank you, Ahmed. And if you guys are looking forward to seeing the Indomitus units, we'll blooming have those ready for you when they're, when
you finally get the box.
Yeah, when I get the box. Okay, so we're going with the list now. But starting with the All-Stars, of course, leading the force. He's not actually leading the force, but overseeing proceedings is Mephiston. He's not my warlord, not that really matters anymore. And he is going to take Wings of Sanguinius, and obviously he's got Smite, and he's going to take the thing that makes him super choppy, and also the one that gives another unit an extra attack per model. You obviously can only cast 2 a turn, but you can know all that.
Yeah.
Then I've got Alexander Garviel, my Smash captain, with his Knight Stick and Stick. Oh, he's decided he wants to fall over for some reason. Come on, Alex.
Don't worry, man. It'll be fine.
There we go. Oh, you're just going to have a little sleep. Have a little sleep. That's okay, Alex. Get some rest before the battle. Right. So then we've got Lamartes, of course, the absolute Don, and an absolute key unit for Blood Angels now, because he gives the Death Company rerolls to their charge and rerolls in close combat without a litany, and then you can start chanting your litanies for other people. In terms of litanies, I'm having reroll 1s to wound in close combat and exploding 6s. So if I can get +1 attack on the Death Company and him, reroll and everything, and exploding 6s, should get pretty nasty. So then also, we'll move directly onto the elites. So I've got a Sanguinary Ancient. He's my 4th character, but obviously not an HQ slot because we're going a battalion. And he's bringing the banner that Controversial change, Timothy. I'm taking the 5-up Feel No Pain banner. I know I always go for the reroll, and I know I always say I'm going to try this one. Well, I am. Today, 9th, it's a new edition.
I'm pinching myself.
New edition, new banner.
Wake up from this nightmare of Feel No Pain. 2 miles of Feel No Pain.
I've spent 8th watching Sam roll too many Feel No Pains for one human individual, so I've decided to get on that gravy train for 9th.
Yeah.
So now I've got my... Also, it means I could give my Death Company a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Nice.
Finally, we will be avenged. Okay, so now I've got 9 Sanguinary Guard, 3 Axes and Carmine Axes, and 6 and Carmine Swords. We've got 10 Death Company. Battlescribe was being frustrating and wouldn't let me put Thunderhammers on there. I don't know if that's a rule change I haven't seen or whatever.
Battle change, dude. We don't know.
I mean, I don't think so. But anyway, 4 Power Swords and 6 Chain Swords, all bolters for those boys. 2 more elite choices. We have a Doredo Dreadnought. He's got a heavy bolter. He's got his auto cannons. He's got his missile launcher on the top. Final elite choice. We have a Furioso Dreadnought, absolute El Clasico, coming out. He's got dual blood talons, Timothy, which gives him
Jonathan.
Which gives him reroll ones that rerolls all hits and all wounds in close combat, but only strength +4. But oh no, now I'm strength like 12 or whatever, who cares. +1 to win because I'm a Blood Angel. It's enough.
Yeah.
And then that's my elite. So in terms of heavy support, we've got 1 Baal, keeping him with the theme of the All-Stars list. He's got all the Daka, including the Storm Bolter. So dual heavy bolter sponsons and assault cannons. And then finally, we have a very much a favourite unit of mine, which is 5 Assault Marines with jetpacks and chain swords and bolt pistols. They're just very simple, extremely cheap. Really, they've always grabbed me objectives in any edition. They're really useful. And there are not too many points out of your list that you worry about them not doing anything but that.
Yeah.
And I can bring them on anywhere. Obviously, I can deep strike, and it doesn't cost me a CP to do it. And in 9th, it's all about dem objectives and that ball control. So these boys should continue to do their job in the name of the Emperor. So that's my list, Tim. All stars.
Nice.
Shall we move directly on?
Yeah.
No cut. One take.
One take.
One take.
One take. Okay.
Right. Okay. Let's come around.
Very impressive handiwork there on the lamp.
Yeah. Camera switch.
So here we have the Black Templar list, very different to what I normally run. I normally run a Black Tide, but after taking 10 hours on a battle port yesterday, I felt like I was going to jump out a window if I used another Horde army. So we've
It's so funny. That's so funny.
We've gone for Elite Army.
He's out-hoarded himself for once.
Oh, man, it's just so many roles. There's too much going on with the Dark Elder and a guy.
I've discovered to beat the Horde, you must become the Horde. I've out-hoarded you, bro.
You merely adopted the Horde. I was born into it.
I may have adopted it.
By it. I didn't see an elite unit before I was a man. By then it was nothing to me.
I may not have taken the secondary objective attrition, but I certainly felt it yesterday.
So, going through, we'll start at the front. We have Grimaldus, the superhero of Hell's Reach. He comes with a plasma pistol, and then he gets a Relic Crozius, which is +2 strength, -2 AP, and 2 damage. So it's just a big old Crozius, and I represent that with his massive 2-handed Crozius on this model. He takes 2 litanies. I'm taking the... I was going to take the +1 to hit, +1 to wound one, but that's just from the basic Space Marine book. I'm going to go fluff 3. I'm going to go for the Black Templar one. I'm going to go for Fires of Devotion, which gives me an extra attack in combat. And I'm going to go for, I believe it's Litany of... I can find it right here. Litany of Divine Protection. It's slightly better than the regular Litany of Protection because it's 5+ Feel No Pain against everything. I was like, if you're having 5 Feel No Pain, I'm going to have 5 Feel No Pain. Feel No Pain. Feel No Pain. He also gives people exploding 6s in combat, and he's he's pretty cheap for that.
Fair enough.
Then we've got Big Daddy, Papa Helbrecht, rocking in there.
Papa 10-point tax, Brecht, you mean? What's this
Papa
unpainted
Helbrecht
model that you've got on my channel?
You've also got unbased model, so no one's winning the painting competition today.
Yeah, but unpainted, Tim. This is absolutely... What are you doing?
I know.
We're supposed to be professionals here.
I know, but I can swap them out for my stand-in Helbrecht. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, do that. We'll have a painted. He's going to have a stand-in.
Okay.
He'll change this guy. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
Turn your face away.
Big Papa Helbrecht. He's got a power sword. It's the Sword of High Marshals. Gives him D3 extra attacks. extra strength. He gives him +1 strength. It's -3 AP, and then he innately gives himself another +1 strength. So he is actually super strong.
Okay.
And he gives everyone around him +1 strength as well. Which is like, oh, you get +1 to wound, I get +1 strength. Oh, now everyone's winning on 3s. How interesting.
Yeah, we all know that you just try and copy, Matt. You try and copy me.
And he's got a combi melter because this model was designed by Games Workshop when combi melters were really cool, and now everyone can take them.
I like combi melters. I like them. I've got on my Deathwatch.
He also gives, he will be my Warlord, he gives people +1 advance and charge roll. Last but not least, we have a Lieutenant. He has got a mass-crafted bolter. That's why his bolter is gold. Everyone knows gold. Always believe in yourself. And he also has a big old power sword on his hip, which is a regular power sword. He will be taking the relic, the Aurelian Shroud, which means he can give everyone around him a 4+ invulnerable save for 1 turn.
Okay.
Pretty nice. So that's the characters. Moving on to the elite of the Firstborn, the First Company. 2 units of Terminators. Got one, both exactly the same. Power Sword and Assault Cannon. The rest of them are Stormbolters and Power Fist. And then we have the core of the battalion. 3 Crusader squads, each with a plasma gun, regular guy, plasma, combi plasma on the Sword Brother, and a Power Sword on the Sword Brother, because you can't be a Sword Brother without a Power Sword.
Fair enough.
Then we've got the accoutrement. We have, because we're continuing with the speaking in bad foreign languages from yesterday, in broken French and broken Italian. So we have.
I just like quattro formaggi pizzas. What can I say? Anyway.
We have a ironclad dreadnought. This guy is a beast. I never take him, but every time I do take him, he just performs really well for me. Dreadnought, chain fist with an underslung melter gun. Hurricane bolter. Interesting thing about dreadnoughts is that they still get the advantage for bolter drill. No other vehicle does. So that hurricane bolter is always firing 12 shots. It's the only hurricane bolter in the whole game that can do it.
You're such a tailoring bastard.
Oh, sorry, I don't have any other weapon option for
right. Blooming. This is supposed to be Gene. Oh, interesting. Gene Stealer cult armor you've got here, Tim.
Well, it's all this is a plan of generations in the making.
Yeah.
So 200 missiles.
The Gene Stealer cult have taken over the bloody tent. Well, as usual, look, surprise, surprise, long time viewers of our channels, Mordian Glory and Schola, Progenium, know that Tim is a filthy traitor in the guise of a servant of the Emperor. His Mordians aren't Mordians. It's Gene Stealer cult of Black Templars.
So all good.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
So yeah, you just got to keep your toes.
I'm gonna win this game. It's
such a soft list. If you don't beat this list, it's a fucking travesty for you. 200 killer missiles because that's what he's modelled with. I don't even want to take him.
I don't even want to take him.
Then I've got the Storm Talon gunship with 2 las cannons and 2 assault cannons. Nothing else there. And then I've also got a Lambda Crusader, the Fist of Dawn. Love this model, and it has a twin assault cannon, hurricane bolters, storm bolter, and it's also got a hunter killer missile because I had 6 points left over. Well, not 10 points left over, but that was the only thing I could afford. And then the last but not least, 9 scout bikes, all with twin bolt gun and shotgun and Astartes combat blades, because you can swap pistols for combat blades. So I will do that.
Okay, fine. Well,
that's it. GG no re.
There's a lot of, stuff that can shoot my death company in combat and stuff like that.
Well, it's what these 2?
Yeah.
2 models?
You guys at home, be the judge.
Oh wow, this is a lot of stuff that can shoot me in combat. Oh yeah, wait, 2 models. Oh wow.
Can shoot flamers in close combat.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
You take
I tell you what.
Though.
All of them, I've got 2 heavy flamers on my bloody, on my blooming Furioso.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All of 9th is worth it.
Did you get 2 or just the 1?
I took 2.
Oh, I didn't know you could take 2.
I can take 2, baby. Double heavy flamer.
Well, he's getting shot first, then, isn't he?
Is he now?
He is.
No, he's not, because he's in reserve.
Okay.
Anyway, we're back with you after deployment and all. Well,
We shall see.
We'll see.
I'll probably put about 1/3 of my army in reserve.
Him being on the battlefield is a trap.
Probably.
For him. I've not used him because he has to walk up the battlefield, or you have to put him on a Storm Raven, which then gets shot. Storm Reaven. Well, that's what it should be called. Which gets shot down, and then you roll the 1, and then it explodes. But so yeah, one CP to march him on the side. I'll take it.
If you take a Storm Raven and then and then it dies and then it explodes and then he fails his wand for disembarking, does he die and then explode?
It, not technically in it, so I would argue that it explodes and he kind of falls like it. Well, he's not embarked. He's carried it. Carried behind it.
I think there is no rule for carry. I think there's a rule for embark.
It's irrelevant for this battle report. We'll be with you after deployment. So here we have the field of battle after deployment. Got the Blood Angels castled up to some degree, ready to burst forth. And we've got the Black Templars facing off against them. Now, it's kind of a good job that I've got a small ball size here because Tim's got everything crammed in there.
I've deployed a tactical brick.
Yeah, he's got. So if we look at Tim, whilst we're here, we'll go through Tim's deployment. So he's got 9 bikes underneath his objective, and then 3, so we're counting that as scoring. He's got his Storm Talon. His 3 characters behind the Land Raider. A Land Raider with 3 squads of 5 guys in.
Yeah.
Do they have special weapons, remind me?
Plasma, power sword.
Plasma, power.
Or plasma, combi, plasma, power sword.
Okay, and then finally his Venerable Dreadnought there. So he's castled up kind of in the centre. I've started off over on this side. And I've got my Dreado here. I've got 2 units of 5 intercessors, and then I've got my characters, Fiston, 5 up front, all of that over here. I've just got 5 intercessors over here. Now, it's unlikely that they'll live, but if they do, they can start scoring me points quite rapidly. So that's useful to have. And I've got a Baal Predator, a Furioso, a unit of Death Company, a unit of Sanguinary Guard off the board. Couldn't get really... Oh, and a unit of Assault Marines, and that's basically taking it right to the line of reserves in terms of points and units.
By then we've just got 2 units of Terminators in reserve. Terminator's got a standard reserve, just classic. I'm going for a very classic feel, trying to play it kind of fluffy, trying to play it kind of narrative. Just want to see if the Firstborn can, teach these upstart primaries thing or two.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
So the mission we're playing number 2 in the rulebook, just working our way through. So we've got 4 objectives. If you hold 1 at the end of your command phase, you get 5 points. If you hold 2 at the end of command phase, you get 10 points. And if you hold more than your opponent, you get 15 points. Now, so that's quite interesting with only 4 on the field. Now, in terms of terrain, we've made this...
It's called Frontline Warfare.
Frontline Warfare, there we go. In terms of terrain, we've made this sort of generator field. -1 to hit if you're within the cross section of it, dense terrain. We've made not ruins, but
just a platform.
Yeah, so this is +1 to your armor, +1 to your armor, +1 to your armor, +1 for this thing in the center, +1 for that, and +1 for that. So most things +1.
We made that obscuring.
We made this obscuring in the center just for a bit of interest.
Trying to build our way up through the terrain rules. We don't want to overload ourselves. We were like, oh, that could be a ruin. No, we can't have ruins. It's got like 10 different traits.
So we're just going to stick obscuring on, and it's +1 to your armor.
And like I said,
so we're just saying it's like, in an initial bombardment from both sides, this sort of oil rig has been set on fire, black smoke pluming into the sky. But yeah, apart from that, it's basically.
And at the end of the day, none of this is Games Workshop terrain, so we assign the traits.
As we so wish. In terms of secondaries, we've both gone for the secondary that comes with this mission, which means that you score.
It's called Vital Ground, which means if you hold objective in the middle, you get 2 points, and if you hold both of those, you can get 4 points.
Yeah.
And if you hold your opponent's one, you get 3 points. But so the max you can get from this in one round is 7.
Yes.
Do you want me to go through the rest of them?
Well, you do yours and I'll do mine.
So we both went for Vital, we both went for Engage in all fronts.
Engage in all fronts being, if you have a unit in 3 table quarters, you get 2 points, and if you have a unit in all 4 table quarters, you get 3 points, and that's at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went for Teleport Strike. Again, I was kind of trying to be kind of cool and narrative. The Terminator's going to come down, going to repair. My fluff is the Terminator's going to come down. They're the initial vanguard. If they repair that teleporter, then the rest of the Terminator Sword Brothers are just going to come swarming in. So it'll be funny, but we'll see how it goes.
And then I went for Line Breaker. So if I have 2 units in this deployment zone, at the end of my turn, I get 4 points. So I should hopefully be able to burn that quick, rack up hopefully around 12 points, if not more, before, even if he does kill me out. Yeah, well, I could get 16 and lose one if I did it 4 turns in a row. But that would be difficult to do.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be as high a scoring mission as on the as on the other channel. Just because we've got less units on the field. But I think you just score. If you've got less units, you're going to score less because you've got less ball control. Seems to be the general. Hordes aren't dead by any means, I don't think, because you can get a lot of ball control.
I think Hordes are in a tricky place.
I don't know. Well, anyway, go if you want to find out more about where Hordes are in 9th edition. Go over to Mordian Glory.
Check out the battle report.
Check the battle report out after you've watched this one. Right, okay, so that's deployment. That's the
mission,
objectives.
everything. Let's roll.
Let's roll to see who goes
Green
first.
or white?
I'll take white.
Okay. I got second one of the game. 4, so what do you want to do?
I got 4. I win?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go first for sure.
You want to go first?
Indeed.
Right. No worries.
Alright. So Blood Angel's first turn was very disappointing. Tim was forced to pop his 4-up Invuln bubble. I decided to activate it's like Atelios tracking system or something. Basically it means I get +1 to hit flyers. So he was hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s for the captain, but nonetheless I only managed to do 4 wounds through to him. No,
6.
No, 1 was the intercessor. So 5 wounds to this guy, and then 1 wound was done by these intercessors in desperation. In desperation. I was going to go for the bikes originally, but I thought, you know what, I need to Daka this guy down because he's a threat. But I just couldn't do it. Tim got I got 6 wounds through on the auto cannon, which enough to do 12 wounds and blow him out the sky. But Tim made 4 of the 4-up saves, so I only did 4 wounds, which is a bit depressing. And then and he made every save against the bolters and the missile launcher as well. Oh no, he took 1 from the missile launcher. So all in all, that 4-up Invuln was a very good pop, and he's got his use out of it. And now we'll see and in terms of psychic, Mephiston just got himself ready, so he just cast wings on himself, but he didn't move, he just cast wings on himself. And we'll see what he can do. We'll see what the Black Templars can do after their first turn. So the Dastardly Templars scooted forward with these bikes and spent a CP to have skilled riders. They didn't advance, they didn't get a 3-up Invuln, but they did get a 4-up Invuln. Everyone else sort of sauntered up, and he kept his chapter master within 6 inches of anything. So Tim managing to he's managed to stay within coherency. And also
get them rerolls. Those dummy thick rerolls.
So, always useful when you've got an elite concentrated army. You can spread that stuff out.
ABRR, always be rerolling.
That's the.
They see me rerolling.
Way.
They hate it. I'll stop interrupting you.
I am hating because you got a reroll on every bloody shot across. Oh, pardon me.
Every shot.
So he got a reroll on every shot across his army, which was really impressive. And also he had that. I thought I'd got over the 4-up Invuln situation, but he gave them a 4-up Invuln. So he proceeded to start shooting, and he Dakkered and he Dakkered and he Dakkered and he Dakkered, and there was a Primaris Sergeant still left on there, frustratingly for Tim. Then I think he.
So I used the Storm Talon, come swooping in.
Yeah, he saved the Talon until last, and he had to use all the assault cannons just to finish off that Marine.
And you used the CP to try and save him, but sadly.
Yeah, because
it was a 2 into a 2.
That now means that I won't be scoring any points at the start of my second turn, but that's not to worry. This is all part of the plan. It's all part of the trap. So he's manoeuvred towards this area, and now it's the Blood Angel's turn 2, and we shall strike. Oh yes.
Now we
shall strike. I've got everything.
Everything.
So much coming in. Right, okay, so time for the second half of my army to arrive. The Blood Angels, sort of leading the Templars into their trap, decided to burst forth. We ran a unit of Intercessors onto this objective with a captain, and deep struck some Sanguinary Guard down in front of the bikes. We then outflanked a Baal Predator and a Furioso within charge range of his Dreadnought. And then we cast wings and got Mephiston really fucking close. And then because he already had fly the first turn, so he moved 24 inches.
Yeah.
He just fucking bossed at 24 inches. So he's 6 inches from Tim's character bubble. Then I did some shooting and I shot the bikes up with a bit of the Dreado, and I also popped the plane with the Dreado. But unfortunately, the Baal fired 12 assault cannon shots into these guys. I didn't kill any Marine. You didn't get.
Oh no, you did a single wound to the flyer, which helped finish it off.
Yeah, that was with the heavy bolters.
Yeah, 1 wound from a.
Yeah, so just my shooting was absolutely atrocious. I think I killed like 2 bikes. That's all I killed, and finished a plane off that I should have killed last turn.
Yeah.
So not great. Psychic phase obviously went well, Mephiston. Tim denied 1 power, but he got his wings off, and that's what mattered.
I denied because Grimaldus is allowed to deny a power.
Yes, indeed. Then the Sandguard failed their charge. And then I used a CP to reroll both dice, which I have to do now.
Again.
I had a 6 and a 1 or something. So, I had a 2 and a 2. Rerolled, got a 2 and a 2. I was like, right, it's okay.
I think that's across the 2 games, and that's the 3rd time, 4th time we've done that now.
Yeah, I am just failing.
Stop spending CP for your charges. Take the reroll banner.
I regretted taking this bloody... That 5 I haven't passed a single bloody 5 at Feel No Pain for these Sandguard, and in return I failed a charge. I would have failed that reroll anyway, but still.
Wouldn't have cost you CP though.
Wouldn't have cost me CP, and I could have spent that CP on this guy, who then proceeded to also fail his 8-inch charge. I didn't roll above... I think I got a 5. I got a 5.
You got a 5 and a 2
So I didn't get above a 5. Well, it was technically a 6 and a 5 and a 5 because of +1. So
yes.
that was
not ideal.
So
not ideal.
Moving into the assault phase. So then Mephiston got a charge off. He got his fly. He just jumped 6. It was 6 inches away at this point, or a 6-inch charge. He contacted the 2 characters, the Lieutenant and Grimaldus, and the Chapter Master decided to heroically intervene, as is logical. Mephiston spent a command point to get D3 extra attacks, so he was on 8 attacks all in all, and he just put and Tim, to counter this, spent 2 command points on transhuman physiology for his Chapter Master. However, Mephiston, the Lord of Death, laughed in this attempt to stay alive, because when death arrives, when it's your time, bro, it's your time. That's just the way things work, and he is death incarnate. So long story short, he got 7 wounds through, even with transhuman physiology.
Yeah, bad man.
And then Tim passed like 1 or 2 armor saves, invuns at most. Mephiston just did so many wounds, absolutely ripped him limb from limb, drained the blood from his corpse, and used that blood to power him on. Because then Helbrecht did Only in Death's Duty End.
He got 8 attacks back with his Sword of High Marshal.
Yeah, so he used his Sword of High Marshal, generated 3 extra attacks, or 2 extra attacks, 1 extra attack, sadly.
Overall, he got 8.
Yeah, overall he had 8 attacks.
And everything, he got 8.
There's a lot of extra attacks going on in this combat.
Hit with everything.
Wounded
with 6.
6, and then I got 4 out of 6 5-up armor saves.
Yeah.
And then I used a reroll.
And got another one.
So and then Tim did...
I did 2 damage too.
2 damage.
I didn't.
I Feel No Pain did.
Yeah, so he got 1 damage.
So and then he struck with both his other characters.
And fought again with Grimaldus. Grimaldus did 4 wounds, but again,
struck with both characters. Struck with both characters.
Let me tell you how awesome Grimaldus
put 2 wounds on. 2 wounds in him after all was said and done. Again, Mephiston just drinking that delicious, sweet Chapter Master blood down to fortify his toughness, and eventually, Tim burnt another 3 CP to just be like, I've got to bring him down. And I was...
Grimaldus got...
But I did... Sorry, let me just say, because we're getting overexcited. Mephiston then, at the end, he decided to strike again, because the plan was to dice up the Chapter Master and then dice up the other 2 characters, even if I had to Only in Death Duty End. So I was happy for Mephiston to die, but I wanted to take all 3 characters with him. Now, unfortunately, when he didn't die, so I had to spend 3 CP to fight again. And he only got like 2 attacks, only like 4 hits out of 8 attacks. He just got like 4 ones. And then Tim made his saves on Grimaldus. And then I had 2 wounds through on the Lieutenant, because I split my attacks 5 and 3, and I got double 1 to wound.
Yeah. I think you were too busy drinking the blood at that point.
I was too busy rubbing my nipples, because I just bitched the Chapter
Just to give you an idea of...
And then he struck again, so Tim had spent like bloody 7 CP in this combat or something crazy. 3 plus 2 plus 2. Transhuman.
Oh yeah, 7.
Only in Death Duty End.
7, yeah.
So Tim spent 7 CP. He struck back with Grimaldus, back at Mephiston, but again that delicious, fortifying, nutritious Chapter Master blood kept us alive, and he remains on 1 wound in the lines.
Just to give you guys an idea of how
I did fail 3 charges out of 4.
Yeah, it balanced out, but to give you an idea how powered up Mephiston was this round, he made 4 out of 6 saves against the sort of the high marshals, and then Grimalda's got, I think it was like 13 attacks between his exploding sixes and everything, and Johnny just made all but 2 of those.
Mephiston.
Like, so it was, and between the feel no pain, so he made so many. I was hitting and I was wounding, I was doing so well, and then unfortunately, no, that feel no pain, that 4-up save, he's really good. So, and for all you kids out there, old Mephiston would be dead, but Primaris for Mephiston is still rocking on 1 wound.
Unfortunately, I didn't kill the 2 characters, but even in that combat, Tim was noticing that I've been all his rerolls. It's absolutely brilliant. If you he'll probably pull out and shoot Mephiston.
I think I need to.
But
to be fair.
and it's annoying because I didn't actually pull off 1-to-1. So long story short, Tim burnt 7 CP, which was
to try and kill Mephiston.
To try and kill Mephiston. But Mephiston didn't really do all that I wanted to be. He has killed the chapter master, so I'm not complaining at all. I just would have liked maybe 1 more of those characters.
I think if everything else had gone off, it would have been really strong.
Let's face it, if they'd gone in, they would have wiped them.
Yeah.
If he'd gone in, he would have kicked his ass.
So it would have been GG.
So it would have been GG. You would have had a Land Raider with bloody 15 guys in it. And that would have been it. That would have been the end of the game. So that is the risk of 9th, though. We have said it's only through the luck of the dice, me failing 3 out of 4 charges, that it's not it's a swing and a miss, basically, from the Blood Angels. But, Mephiston has kept them treading water. All in all, I'd say a balanced turn. The Templars are still there. They're going to pop out, Tactical Doctrine, start shooting, but they've got a lot to shoot. This Sandguard, I'm holding this now.
Got my Termes.
And other news. These Assault Marines arrived. They're out of line of sight. The -1 to hit if someone can get into line of sight, and they're ready to start picking points up. So, I haven't got Line Breaker this turn yet.
Just
but,
1,
because I only got 1 character in their back lines. Oh, no, because they didn't make the charge. If they'd made the charge, I'd be good to go. But I have got a unit in all 4 quarters, Timothy. So that's +3 for Engage on all fronts. I love Engage on all fronts.
Engage is sweet.
It's great. It's
what did I get at the beginning? Oh, I haven't got anything. No, I got +2 for something last turn, didn't I?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think I got some. We'll work it out.
We'll work it out. Work it out later. Anyway, so we'll be back with you after Black Templars turn 2. Massive game changing moment that we've just realised is because this guy failed his charge and didn't crunch him, and this guy just failed to do any wounds at all to Tactical Marines, shoot him at point blank range. Tim actually, I was going to have more objectives than Tim because only 4 objectives, but now Tim's got more objectives than me, so he starts his turn because of this failed charge +15 points.
It's mad, that.
Absolutely mad. So it's really, really, the Blood Angels
interesting turn.
Have suffered there, but we'll see if they can pull it back. I'm ready. It's just if I can survive this Dakar, because I can definitely chew you up if I can survive it.
Yeah.
Your chapter master's dead, and that's all that really matters. He's never coming back, bro. He's gone forever.
He wasn't paid.
Rewrite the fluff. Email GW.
I will do.
Email GW.
It was alright. It's off Arius. It's alright.
So the Black Templars predictably unloaded all their troops out to face the Dreadnought, and with the Plasma and a Combi Plasma each, in the Tactical Doctrine AP -4, literally took 2 squads, and the other squad shot. I don't know how you did 6 wounds, Jim.
So 2 plasma guns in rapid fire range. I got 3 hits out of 4, and then all of those 3 wounded. And
just
-4.
So my outflanking stuff came on and was promptly destroyed, and I'm kicking myself because I even declared last turn that I had a Magna Grapple to reroll charge against vehicles, and that I was going to use my CP reroll for these guys, and then I just, in the frustration of failing 3 charges in a row, I just forgot about the Magna Grapple. And so me and Tim rolled the dice here, and I got a 6 and a 5 and an 11-inch charge. And this would be a very different situation if that was the case. So, 9th edition, make sure you're taking your time, guys. Make sure you're not rushing.
With all the other complications going on.
With all the other complications going on, it's very easy to forget these things. Tim then, because I'd used Honour the, what was it? Something of the Ancients.
Wisdom of the Ancients. I was like, oh yeah, Wisdom of the Ancients.
I used Wisdom of the Ancients here to help wreck the flyer. And Tim then was like, oh yes, that's a stratagem, isn't it? I forgot about it. Spent a CP and promptly was re-rolling 1s with all of these guys anyway. So he rinsed, as I said, over that side. And over this side, he moved a millimetre with each bike, and then spent a CP to give them a 4-up invuln. I don't know really why he did that, because I'm obviously coming in for the choppy.
You'll have some bolter shots, man. It's like...
I'll have some bolter shots, that's true. Choppy. And then he basically rinsed everything else over here, but started off looking on my saves, then the floor drops out of them and ended up average in total. the banner, you know, came into use there.
Made a few
just a couple. Yeah, I mean, it was worth having. I was glad because I probably would only have a couple of Sandguard left, and I've got 3 with 2 axes, and they can do some damage.
Lost 5.5.
Lost 5. Did I take a wound on one? Yes, I did. So I've still got my Death Company to come in. You've still got Terminators to come in, but yeah, the first sort of wave of reinforcements hasn't really had effect. But we're mad, we're angry, and we're in the business of revenge. So the Blood Angels, as I said, they were angry and not quite finished off. So the Assault Marines decided, you know what, I'll relinquish the 4 corners, and I'll only take 2 points for my secondary engage on all fronts. I need to get these Assault Marines engaged. It's turn 3, I've got AP -1, 21 attacks from the unit. So jump forward, aiming for these guys. Then I did loads of shooting over here, just intercessors, everything like that, and I was actually shooting across into the Terminators with anything that could hit. And all that culminated with just 1 wound, even with AP minus. Tim's doing really well on his saves. And then I got my Bile Predator, and as you can see, this slightly different turret here. And I shot into the Tactical Marines here, and should kill 2 on average with the Bile Predator, which isn't great when you actually think about it on paper, when you're shooting into cover, but nonetheless, you know, he'd be really good at clearing guard or anything that's not Marines, but he's just not great against Marines, and he only killed 1.
And I
was like, right, that's it.
That squad that you finished off, just in case anyone's wondering about the 5 left in the unit.
I was like, that's it. I'm not having this. This is unacceptable. I am a student of history. As you guys all know, I love my history, my military history, and as is Tim. And in the great Italian Roman tradition of decimation, of quattro formaggi, no, but of decimation. In case you don't know what that is, the Roman legions, when a legion was cowardice, displayed cowardice or lack of will to fight in the face of the enemy, after the battle, they'd all draw the short straw, or draw straws, and the short straw, 1 in 10, would be beaten to death by his comrades. So, leaning on this ancient wisdom from times gone past, 42,000 years ago, this is the 41st millennium, I threw my Bile Predator out of the window to teach him a lesson. And then it really did the trick, I must admit, because then in the combat phase, these guys, now don't worry guys, obviously it's only a joke, the Bile Predator's absolutely fine, and I've just got this one out of my box. I've got like 22 bloody tanks in my collection, so it's really not a problem. I'll just glue his turret back on later, and his heavy bolter sponson that came off when he hit the grass.
It broke exactly on glue lines.
Yeah, it was just perfect, just absolutely perfect. And it just tore the guy out. It was really, you know.
I personally don't subscribe to decimation, so I can't say I agree with it, but it seemed to be effective.
It seemed to be effective, because then these guys came in, just absolutely butchered a 5-man squad. Sandguard came in, killed the Dread, and got a wound on the Lieutenant. No wounds. But killed the Dread, which was absolutely fantastic. That was really, really good. The Death Company came in, they charged, and they killed the bikes down to the last man. So there's 1 man remaining.
And he jabbed one in return.
So and they consolidated in, so there's 1 out of cover, but the rest made it in. The Sandguard in return got beaten by the characters, but I got a ridiculous amount of feel no pains. You know what? Lesson learned. That banner is actually pretty good. I really like it. So, hello, Commissar Kylo. And so she's coming in to reinforce the Templar lines. Oh my God!
So, yeah.
AP -4 on those claws.
Strength 16.
Strength 16. Yeah.
No inlands allowed.
Easily. If you get chewed on, you're removed from the game forever.
I hope so.
Sent to the wall.
You don't chew in my models.
And yeah. And so. But I got really lucky, and so I've got 1 guy left on 1 wound. Tim did 4 wounds in total, because I had.
You made loads of feel no pains.
Yeah, made loads of feel no
pains. 4
pains.
out of 7?
Something like that, who knows, but you know, it was really lucky, really, really lucky. So, all in all, you know, a really good assault for the Blood Angels. The Assault Marines blooming kicking off, man. Absolutely kicking off.
I'm hoping I can. Do a fight back now and we'll see what's left over.
In that, made it to turn 3 without being tabled. That's the key objective of the first battle phase of the Blood Angels plan. So now it's down to the Black Templars to respond with their turn 3. They've got some characters. They've got these Termies. They've got another unit exactly coming in. So although it may look strong on the Blood Angel side, these are all 1 wound armor 3 models, toughness 4, you know, easily beatable. You know, easy to smash apart with power fists and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's looking... And I scored, I think, 11 points in that turn because I got 2 behind enemy lines and then only 5 points for holding 1 objective. Doing terribly on the primaries.
Yeah.
Never mind.
4 primaries, yeah. Okay, I'll count my point. I'm keeping a track, don't worry.
Yeah, Tim's keeping a track. He's doing that with the paper and pen. Sang Ancient failed to make it into combat, as did Lamartes. Okay, so that's that. By Templars turn 3. So the Templars steeled themselves for a counter-assault. They shot into the Assault Marines and killed 1 with bolt of fire and plasmaed the Baal Predator, replacement Baal Mark II, to death. And then they also, over here, what they've done is Tim gone with a big brain move. He's teleported his Termies down here. And I won't be able to see them for a turn with my Doredo. And you can start doing teleport home and start claiming points for that, but they're out of the game essentially in terms of fighting. Now, if we go this way, the camera around the light, these guys, you know, gave loads of buffs to the Terminators, and Terminators also spent a point, they didn't do much shooting, but spent a point in close combat to have Fury of the First. They were +1 to hits, they were hitting on 3s with their power fists, and it came down to the last Feel No Pain with the Death Company, but they did die, sadly.
Grimaldi says, just so you know, I actually didn't have to roll the power sword, because when they were striking with their power fists, they got 6 sixes, and Grimaldi's like exploding 6 just kicked in, they just... and I forgot about that, and I saw the 6s and were like, holy moly!
We forgot to mention it, but in the Blood Angel summary, but Alexander Garville, the captain, Smash captain, he just did 16 wounds. He's not a Death Company or anything like that. I don't think I explained it in the list, to be fair. I should have gone into more detail. But he's just got Artisan of War and the Hammer of Baal, and I spent a point for the Banner Relic. So he hits on 2s, rerolling 1s, and he's 4 damage a hit. So he got 4 wounds through because it's the assault phase. It was AP -4, so Tim needed 6s on his Land Raider. He got 4 through, and that's 16 wounds. Pop went the Land Raider. This bike cunningly just pulled out and round over here to get into this table quarter, so Tim can engage on all fronts. And you know, that's essentially it. He's set his teleport Homer off there, so he's scored a fair few points in that turn. He's done well. He's killed off the Death Company. I've no further reserves to come on, so it's just going to be
what's left.
Yeah, it's just a brawl with what's left now.
How good can the Termies be? That's what it comes down to.
Let's find out.
Fury of the First, baby.
Right, okay. So, Blood Angels turn 4. This little cheeky joker, I realised I made a mistake earlier. I was penalising myself when I ran across here earlier and shot some Tactical Marines because I gave myself -1 hit. It just seems so crazy that this big lumbering joke of a machine can like run around dackering from the hip and not suffer penalties, but it's for my benefit, so unit. I'm gonna not complain. It's just an absolute unit. So yeah, Doredo for me now. He's just gonna be the run around dacker boy, popping off that Wisdom of the Ancients to he's just gonna basically be like a 1 CP a turn character when I need it. Optional captain for a turn when I need him. What a sick... I'm going to come up with some headcanon for that. He is a captain interred in Doredo armour or something. But yeah, what a beast. Anyway, nonetheless, he shot at the Scout Bike, killed him with the Heavy Bolter, shot everything else into the Termies, but Tim being in cover and him only being AP -1, Tim made a lot of saves and he only did like 3 wounds because of your Feel No Pain 5 up from your Chaplain, because that was your litany, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, for my litanies, I gave myself 6s, give me extra hits. I gave the Sanguinary Ancient reroll 1s to wound against the closest target. And then the captain basically ran up to the lieutenant and the warlord. And this assault marine on this side, but he just jumped back because big brain move. That's just wholly inside this table quarter, and it's about 8 inches from the centre. So that racked me up a couple of points.
Yeah.
I did make a little bit of an error because I haven't got a full... Somehow I've managed to pull one of my units out from here whilst I'm chasing Termies without thinking. And I should have just scooted these up, but I was greedy and didn't. So that's just a stupid mistake. Learning a lot. Like, basically making a lot of mistakes when it comes to scoring points with my Blood Angels, but really learning a lot. The Assault Marines are just so bloody good with jetpacks. They're so cheap. I mean, the amount of points I could pick up with Assault Marines.
Well, we don't know how they'll change precisely in.
Yeah, well, that's true. They could go well up in points because they just seem so bloody useful. I just can't wait to have just a full sword horde. Yeah. I'm just going to have all chainswords. Death Company, Assault Marines, Assault Intercessors, all of it. It's going to be great. Anyway, so then shooting, these guys just fired 5 shots because they ran onto my objective.
5 hits, no wounds.
Got 5 hits, no wounds, but then I did kill this guy off with the Sanguinary Ancient, shot over.
Yeah.
Captain threw a grenade but failed to wound. This guy fired a pistol but failed to wound. And these guys fired into the Termes and just did nothing. Tim made all his saves. Then I charged into close combat. My captain, I got 7 attacks. I spent command point to get an extra D3. But only got 1. I put it 2 on the lieutenant and 5 on
actually failed to kill the lieutenant, but then use a CP to get him.
I got 2 hits and then 2 1s to wound. I was like, and my lieutenant was dead at this point.
Yeah.
Was he? No, he shouldn't have been.
I think
he shouldn't have been. So just give me a CP back, it's fine.
Okay.
Because then I basically spent a command point to re-roll it and killed the guy off. I'm not going to use that. and then I struck into Grimaldus. 5 wounds through, of course, not failing, but Tim got 5 saves.
Yeah.
Then swung back and did 2 wounds to me.
Yeah.
My 2 characters then went into the Termes, Sanguinary Ancient, and the and Lamartes. And Lamartes did really well with his. I think he got.
Then I became the Feel No Pain master.
He did indeed.
I made nearly every Feel No Pain but 3.
He made a couple of triple 5-ups. It was literally mental. So the Termes are great, man. I love tactical Termes. They're so cool. And it's nice that they can do things. I think they're going to be really effective in 9th, especially with obscuring and all this kind of crap going on. They're just going to be great. So essentially failed to really do much, but the Termes were left with just 2 guys left after a couple of bops from Lamartes and the Ancient, and then those 2 just beat the Ancient back and killed him. And that was basically it. So we're on to, there's only a few models left, but we're on to Templars turn 4. So a very quick move for the Templars. Grimaldus, being the coward that he is, withdrew from combat with the Honourable Alexander Garviel. Very tempting to go after him, but I might just leave him. The coward. The fool.
Coward's shame.
Then the Terminators just jogged over here, kept keeping a toe in cover whilst also being wholly within this table quarter. Nice little
big brain move.
Big brain move. And these guys jogged onto this objective. Now they didn't score it obviously at the start of Tim's. And they've also, they're in this table quarter here. Yeah. So Tim's got 3 table quarters, which gives him 2 points. Then because he's aware that I'm going to try and shoot these guys up next to my turn, you just jog these around the side. They're just sort of doing a sort of...
This whole thing is a teleporter that they're fixing.
So they're just they're fixing these. I thought these were power modules, but the teleporters, power grid for the teleportation.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
So these guys have basically run around the back here, so they're not -1 to hit because they're not within it, but I still can't see because of the line of sight blocking. Yeah. So nice move from the Dorado. Nice. So that scored him 5 points for the Termes.
Yeah.
Then 2 points for 3 table quarters.
And 5 points for just holding.
And 5 points because you had an objective at the start of your turn. Right, I much prefer the 4 objectives with the way it scores.
Yeah.
The 6, it's like, I'll just sit on 2 and get 10.
So end of turn 4 for both sides.
Yeah.
It's 34 for the Blood Angels. It's 38 for the Templars. So it's coming down to turn 5. It's coming down to turn 5. Can the Blood Angels claw it back? Over to you.
Okay. So we're doing an end of game summary here. End of turn 5 and end of the game. No dice roll. Now it's a bit of a mad one, really. This. So essentially, the Termes were over here. Couldn't shoot them, but Mr. Daka Run and Gun, as we're now going to call him.
I just call him Absolute Unit. AU.
I'm just going to call him the Run and Gun. Or so, he's going to get a nickname. You guys comment below for a nickname. He ran 6 or 7, but didn't need to, onto this objective to control it. And then the guys controlling the objective just ran and advanced and just
got a really good
sprinted. Got 6 So I was 7
If you
inches
hadn't got that, it
plus
would have been
6.
tricky, yeah.
So I just sprinted all the way into Tim's deployment zone just to
That won you the game.
ensure.
Oh, not almost winning the game. You know?
Everything was vital. That's what I'm saying. It's such a weird turn because everything was vital. So that was me. And then the captain charged over here, and Tim, I got 7 wounds through, and Tim made 6 invuns on 4 up. He had 1 command point left, so he rolled it, of course, got a 6. So just saved 7 invuns. He then struck back and killed the captain. Just got like 3 wounds through. I failed like 3 storm shield saves. 6 damage and I died. But thankfully, I had 2 command points, so I live, I die, I live again. And so,
Witness me!
Witness me! Witness! So what I did was I struck back, and obviously you can't get that lucky twice in a row, and I just...
Oh, I almost did.
You almost
so
did.
So you put another 6 wounds on me, and I passed 4 of them. So I passed 11 out of like 12 or 13  4-ups. Grimaldus is a don.
But he's dead now. So, and that is the final of the characters dead for the Templars side. So that's, you know, just moral victory for me there. That's blooming out though. What an impressive display from the Templars. They've really clung on in the face of that Smash Captain.
Yeah.
Then I decided not to chase these guys down, which may seem weird, but all in all, I needed to make sure, I decided I really need to make sure that I don't lose this side. So I stuck on that objective with Lamartes instead of chasing these 2 down, and made sure I got my line breaker points.
If
and
you hadn't done that, woo-hoo,
yeah, really,
woo!
yeah. I just thought insurance on that line breaker because I needed it. And that took me to, I think, plus
16 points from that.
So I got +2 for this. +2 for this. Sorry.
Yeah.
At the end of the, at the end of the battle round, or whenever it was, beginning of the battle round, before I ran off it. All in all, I ended on 50 points.
Yeah.
And Tim on 38. So Black Templars had their turn 5, and Tim gained 5 points for just holding 1 objective.
+2 because No Man's Land.
Because it's No Man's Land 1. And then he got
the teleporter.
The teleporter, the final 5 points. So this big brain move was a vital one. So he got 50 points. Really frustrating that we've not that we've drawn. I'm absolutely like just blown away that we've drawn. It's obviously always nice to get a draw. There's 100 points in this, or 90 points in this, and we've managed to somehow, you know, our warlords. Or is he a warlord? No, but you know, our final characters kill each other in a duel. And then we're both like doing all little clever like manoeuvres all the way around the board, count all the points up, and it's bloody 50-50. We've got a draw. I actually thought you were supposed to basically not get draws in 9th. I thought that was the point.
Well, you know, 9th edition is better in every way, guys.
Mad. So I'll just be quick now. MVP for me. It's got to be the Dorado. He was amazing. I'm just so pleased that he can do, and for no other reason that he can just run around 7 inches a turn and just shoot people with no penalty. That's just crazy. And I can spend a command point obviously to give rerolls. And also the Assault Marines, they were great. Just, you know,
I was really
jumping
surprised.
in, chopping stuff up, running around, scoring me points, just being dynamic. So yeah, Assault Marines, nice, cheap, with jetpacks,
Well, 5 Assault Marines
unit.
took out about 8 Templars and got you a couple of points.
Yeah, indeed. More than a couple. So that's a 5-man squad. I've always sworn by just because it's one little 5-man squad. You know what I mean? It's nothing. You're not going to miss it if nothing happens. But almost every time they score you points.
Do you want to know my man of the match? Men of the match.
Go on.
Definite
characters.
No, I mean Grimaldus was all right, but men of the match has to go to the firstborn unit down here. No doubt. The Termies that were here. No doubt. They
got dashed by the Dread. Obviously, the Dreado ran up and killed them.
Oh yeah, the Dreado just blasted them. So those guys are my men of the match. They came in here when the scout bikes were being overrun. They gunned down the Sanguinary Guard. They charged into the Death Company, killed
the
them.
Death Company. Killed the Sanguinary Ancient.
Killed the Sanguinary Ancient, and then held that point against 2 beat stick characters. Terminators, I think.
And the other Termies over there. I mean, that was an expensive deep strike to get the job done, but it was
about 150 points roughly for 15 victory points.
It's
so
almost with the resources I had, it was impossible to shift them. When you put them there, it was 15 points in the bag. It was just an instant secondary.
If I hadn't done that,
and you threw caution to the wind. It's like, if you kill me, it's like you weren't going to catch up. unless you got that secondary stacked up to 15. You had to max a secondary.
Got me a couple of engage on all fronts as well.
Exactly.
Vital. These guys have got me 21 points.
So yeah, engage. Yeah, so it was just absolutely vital. So it's interesting. There's been many times in many games where I've sort of been, when I've had Terminators, I've been loath to deploy them in a place where I just grab an objective at the end of the game just because it's only worth 3 points. Like say if you're playing ETC or Big Rulebook or whatever. Well, you know, a lot of the time, deep striking an expensive unit like that somewhere is kind of like a waste, but just their resilience alone means you can rack up like 20% of the points available for the game. Absolutely incredible.
I'm very impressed with Terminators in 8th and in 9th. I think in 9th they're actually really, really good, and it's not necessarily, they haven't obviously got any more killy. They've got a little bit more drawable because you can take advantage of certain terrain types, but most importantly, they're extremely good way of getting secondaries. This is with regular Terminators. Imagine if I'd gone with Assault Terminators, 3 up Storm Shields.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just amazing. Like
against the prevalence of like, because obviously it's like
5 Terminators it's deployed well as a guaranteed 15 points.
Metaception.
Yeah,
because they don't need, because they've got such a good 2 up armor is actually really good. Because some people don't factor it in because they're like, I'll just take the damage over the AP when they're making their weapon choices.
I would just say 5 Terminators, if deployed correctly, can get you 15 points. You stick them in a corner, 15 victory points. Now we obviously don't know if these are confirmed.
They just teleport down and then fix the teleport, and it's super fluffy as well.
And that's why I love it. And I just want to say, now these aren't confirmed leaks, but we have seen point leaks for Terminators. They're not changing in points from what we can see. So really good.
So they're getting better value.
Yeah, I'd still say, and Johnny, this is my last point, closing point on the game, which is, I still think over Intercessors, personally, I think Plasma Tacticals / Crusaders are insanely good.
They're so good.
Insanely
They just tear through anything without an invuln save.
What was it, 50 Marines? 50 Marines tore through 2 vehicles.
I knew you had your Land Raider and you were going to stick 15 guys in a Land Raider Crusader, so it was going to be like Intercessors versus a Land Raider Crusader. So I knew that was going to be tricky, but I was actually sort of wrong because you were forced to get them out, obviously, to deal with reserves. My Intercessors were shooting away at range and grabbing me points and that kind of thing. You know, I'm getting used to Intercessors now. You know, I've still got some mini Marines for ages, but they're really good.
You don't have. I think the difference between your firstborn and my firstborn, yours were just bolt attacks essentially, whereas mine have always been given plasma. So when you switch your Intercessors, you might as well just upgrade them bolters. Yeah. Whereas for me, I'm happy to stay where I am because plasma is so good.
Yeah. I would only ever have 1 plasma in my army.
Yeah. I think you were really worried. This is the very last point. Sorry for hijacking your battle, but I think you were initially extremely worried by the amount of bolter shots I could put down.
I was really worried about the bolter shots.
When it actually
I thought,
played
my god, there's so much DAC here. The last bat rep we had, it was literally, you had so much just pure bolter fire 100.
It was mostly the plasmas that were doing it to you.
You just absolutely, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say the end of that battle report because people want to look at it. They can, obviously. The Angels always fight back as they did here and that. But the first turn, it just tore through me, and I thought, it's just going to be it's just going to be another shooting fest for the Blood Angels for the first couple of turns, and it's just always, you know.
Well, I would say it wasn't as effective.
Unpleasant.
I think it voodooed you more than it was effective because remember when I loaded every bolt shot into a Sanguinary Guard unit, there's only 8 left. And they were still around at the end.
The shotgun bike scouts, they killed a lot of Sangard, I think, didn't they?
No, they just fired a lot of bullets. One thing I would say, love the bike scouts. Next time I'd take them in 3 squads of 3, make them a little easier, and then you can actually give each sergeant a storm bolter, which means each sergeant is getting 10 shots at close range because you get 2 for his 4 for his twin bolters, 4 for his storm bolters, 2 for his shotgun.
Wow.
Big brain manoeuvre.
I'm going to definitely be taking a few. I've got already ideas for my next list, but I'm definitely going to be keeping a Furioso running on the back lines. So I think if you play this mission, people are sort of moving around the field. They're going to be much more spread out, and you've got that objective just sat there in the backfield, and you can just take it with a Furioso. I mean, the Furioso is going to come in. I just failed my charge and forgot I had Magna Grapples, and that was on me, not on him.
Yeah.
And then he got plasmid, but. I'm going to keep using him. I'm going to make that Furioso, get some kills because I think he deserves it. He's such a cool model, so badass.
So we did this on my channel, but obviously people might not have seen that.
Yeah.
Should we just do armies aside, draw aside, result aside? what are your initial impressions of 9th after playing a couple of games?
It's a lot more. It takes a lot more mental energy to play. Brain power.
Sadly, I'm deficient.
Like I'm a lot more tired than I would be. Like in 8th, you could reasonably play a game after if you've had not a tough day in work, you just had an average day in work.
You play a game.
You could play a game of 8th, but I don't think I'd want to play a game of 9th after a day's work.
It's an ordeal.
It's a
commitment.
It's a commitment, which is good. Like there's a lot more to it. There's a lot to get our teeth into, and I'm really excited to sort of look more into this scoring. Honestly, I love the concept of secondaries and picking your own. I think it's a really clever thing. It's really good. It allowed loads of variation. We didn't know what, there was loads of back and forth. Really, really good to have a game that's back and forth.
Yeah.
If played right. But I think obviously it depends on your match. If you just get alpha struck, that's not going to happen. I like it. If you get the chance to score secondaries, you can really rack up some points.
Yeah. So myself, speaking from the heart, just very quickly, we did one battle port yesterday, which was like 10 hours, and we were learning a lot for 9th, to be fair. But I went to bed just thinking, my brain was like going at a million miles an hour.
Yeah, just wired.
So much to process. This second game today, admittedly it was smaller armies, but also it was just better. So I would say that 9th is more difficult to get into, but once you've got it, there is some definite potential to pull off some real feel-good objective grabbing.
I like the sort of I always love cinematics. Having a Terminator captain holding an objective off as hordes trying to
so fluffy. Those Termies dropping in and just repairing the home.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's just great. Yeah, just absolutely. So I love that. I love the sort of idea that you can. Like I almost took Kill the Warlord just because I knew what I was going to do with my Fiston, and I was like, I'm going to get him.
Yeah.
But I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't in the end because I would have lost.
Yeah. I think. I hope you agree with me on this, Johnny. I think 9th is more difficult to get into, but can be potentially more rewarding.
I'd say the difficulty
was
curve
very
is much
easy to get into, but was a bit shallow. But
exactly. I enjoyed it being easy. I enjoyed it being easy because I play it as Malifaux, that kind of thing. Bolt action, dystopian wars. They're all long games. And 8th was just a cash game, smash it out in a couple of hours, and now it's not anymore. It's back to a big war game again. Which is great.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's just going to take some getting used to.
My very last question.
Very last.
PPS. I'm going to leave hanging in the air, which is, I feel like 8th was. I forgot what I was going to say now. Just got that back.
It's tired. You're tired. We're tired.
It was a really good point, but I've forgotten now. It was something to do with 8th versus 9th.
So, final words I would say is, if you've enjoyed this battle report and you haven't seen the one that we're releasing simultaneously with Horde Army, so we've addressed Horde and Elite factions and the first 2 missions of match play at the 2K, what's it called? In something force? Strike Force. So which is what's probably going to be tournamenty. So we've done 2 matches of that. You've seen it. Now please get in touch. Leave comments below. We really want to hear what you have to say about this. For both battle reports. If we've got the time, we'd really appreciate it.
I'm sure we've made loads of mistakes in both battle reports.
Yeah, so just.
I think
I actually don't think our mistakes will be there because we took ages.
That's what I was going to say. My last point. How many rules discussions did we have in the last 2 battles? At the beginning of an edition, and we had 0 at the beginning of 8th.
Even though 8th was, a totally new and a change.
You picked it up after 2 turns. You picked it up.
I picked 8th up after 2 turns, and this has taken. I'm in my 4th battle. Done 4 battles, and I'm getting the hang of it.
I think it's got a real barrier to entry, but I think once you get there,
it's going to be sick. So
I think if you're learning it, just stick to open play, and until you've had 20 games of open play, then move to narrative, which is simple, and then move to match play. If you're getting into it from the beginning.
I mean, just do what you want, guys. That's what 9th's all about, apparently. So
it's not though.
So from Mordian Glory, thank you very much for your game.
Thank you very much.
And from me, Schola Progenium, I hope you've been interested by this battle report. I hope you found it exciting and entertaining. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.